Alrighty. So today I want to talk about a combination that has genuinely changed how I operate, and that I think it can do the same for you too. And that is using n8n with Claude Code. Now, if you've used either of those tools individually, you know that they are very powerful, but when you put them together, it's a completely different ballgame. And it's not just automation, it's not just AI, it's using AI to build automations, and inside that automation, you can have an automation run intelligently by having AI operate inside it. And I'm going to talk through what that actually means and some real examples. So, quick context, if you're new to this, n8n is a workflow automation tool. Think of it like a Zapier or make.com, essentially gluing together different parts of your workflow, different parts of the internet, but way more flexible, and you can self-host it if you want to, so it runs close to free. And you build visual triggers, actions, logic, all connected up, which on its own is brilliant for moving data around, connecting tools, sending emails, making bookings, moving whatever you want around, and even outputting video content in different formats. But here's the thing, automation in and of itself, without anything else, is kind of dumb. It just shuffles information around from one place to another. It can't actually do any thinking, can't make judgments, can't write something intelligent, can't sound like a human. But that is where Claude comes in. When you plug Claude Code into n8n workflows or any other AI into a workflow, you add a layer of intelligence to the automation. Now, that means that you go from if this, then that, to if this, do some thinking, write something intelligent, rewrite something into a format that I actually want it to be in, make a decision on that, and then take various outputs. Claude Code is built for that. Language models are built for that. Claude Code is really good at creating that entire system. And you can do that by having Claude Code generate JSON files that you can then simply upload into n8n, import into new n8n workflows, and with the correct number of the correct file in your Claude Code setup that has the right authentications, the right API keys, the right webhooks, then that can all be automated without needing to do any of the plumbing, or very, very little of the plumbing. And it returns exactly what you want. A written response, a decision, formatted output, workflows that do your work for you. Obviously, the workflow handles the logic, AI handles the thinking, and together they handle the whole job without you needing to be in the room, be tied to your desk. So let me give you a concrete example. Cold email replies. Now, if you run any kind of outbound, which most B2B businesses do, then you know that the concept of speed to lead is everything. That is, if someone responds to a cold email, then how quickly you reply to that has a huge impact on whether a conversation happens beyond that. So you know that because at the time that someone responds, they're obviously thinking about the thing that you're talking about, and you've got a narrow window of opportunity before they move on, they're distracted, they go to something else. So I have built a workflow that handles this automatically. And here is what it does. The moment that somebody responds to an email that is sent out from an email sender, whether that's instantly, which I've used in the past and also use, but I'm running this at the moment inside Smart Lead, n8n, a workflow in n8n gets triggered via a webhook, and so it picks up that a response has come in, works it through a process, a workflow in n8n, The email gets read, works out the intent, figures out if the person is interested or if they've got an objection or they've got further questions. And then it drafts a personalized response based on the context of that person, the company they're at, the response that they've written. And it's not a template, it's not a canned response. It is an actual contextually relevant message that sounds like it was written by a human because, oh, by the way, you can inject into the workflow, into the AI component, the AI agent writer, your tone of voice, using AI to go and look at content that you have created and create a summary tone of voice doc. You then insert into that workflow. I mean, it's just awesome. So then that goes back out either automatically, you can put a human in the loop at that point, and then what we end up having is responses to replies instantly, rather than waiting hours or days, depending on how frequently you're able to check your cold email sender inbox. And the replies are really good. They sound human. So another great example is signal-based outreach. There's a lot going on in the market right now of doing go-to-market work about signal-based outreach. So this is about reaching out to people, the right people at the right moment, when they've done something online that tells you that they might be in the market for what your service is, whether that's a job change, if you're selling a specific piece of software, a funding announcement, if you're in recruitment, hiring for certain roles, a new tech stack showing up on their website, whatever it is. But with n8n, you can monitor all of those signals automatically. You can pull them from LinkedIn, news feeds, data providers, YouTube, Reddit comments, whatever your signals are, wherever they are. And now, in combination with n8n and Claude Code and another platform that does a lot of this monitoring as well, called Triggerify, you can bring those pieces together, and Claude Code comes in and does the personalization at scale. So it takes the signal and says, this company has just raised Series A, writes an outreach message to the relevant person that actually references that context. Then it ties it to what you do and makes it feel relevant to them. So you are not blasting people with generic messages. This is reaching out with something that lands and is timely, and you can do it at scale in a way that would be impossible to do manually. So the takeaway from this is that most businesses are still doing things manually that should be automated. They just have the basics. Most of the automations that are in place, they're kind of fairly straightforward and basic. What I want you to take away from this is to start thinking about creating automations that combine an automation tool with AI, and also use AI in the first place to build the entirety of the intelligent workflow. So AI can handle all of this, building all of this right from the trigger all the way through to the output without needing a human in the loop for every step. That does not mean that you take humans out of the picture entirely. It simply means that you free humans, your team, you, free people up to do the things that actually benefit from having a human in the loop. Whether that's developing strategy, although AI can certainly be a really powerful sparring partner with developing strategy, but making decisions, complex decisions, strategic decisions, and building real human connections. So AI has done some of that in some instances, but look at the things that you want to spend your time doing, and spend your time doing that, and have AI take care of the other bits with the automations. So admin, drafting, routing, following up, all of the boring, mundane grunt work, that can be handled by a system that you get AI to build for you. So this is the kind of stuff that I'm building at Manyforce with AI. building pre-configured systems that you can just plug in and run, because most companies don't have the time, A, to figure this stuff out in its entirety, and B, to build this stuff from scratch. Most people just want it to work out of the box. So if you are running a business and you are not already looking at this combination, n8n plus Claude Code, I seriously encourage you to start. You do not need to be a developer. I am not a developer. You don't need to know how to code. You don't need to be able to wire all of this stuff together. You just need to know what your day-to-day is, and you just do the things that you do and get AI to monitor what you do so that it can create an automated workflow of the things that take up the most of your time. What happens, in what order, and where the intelligence needs to go, how to prompt it so that it actually starts to operate and behave how you want it to. My advice is start simple, start with one workflow, one problem that you want to solve, and then see what it does. So for me, I will list out and share in another video, bit by bit, all of the different workflows that I have automated to this point, and what the roadmap for me looks like in terms of pieces that are being automated. So if you want to see more of that stuff, see more of how these things are getting built, how I'm doing that with AI, whether that's content generation from ideas, syndication of content across multiple social media platforms, doing outreach, doing signal-based outreach, cold outreach, whether that's email, LinkedIn, spinning up ad campaigns and running analyses on that, sales call analysis, converting sales calls into working proposals, actually delivering on client work, the full end-to-end of all of the systems that you need and you operate in your business, then stay tuned, because that's what I'm going to be covering in future videos. So if this has been interesting and you want to hear more, like, subscribe, sign up to the newsletter, and see you in the next one.